think they could tolerate it as long as there was a strong enough backup for the psychological story. And that was the balance we were trying to strike from the very start of bringing the genres together.
Amy.
Okay, REM is comparative to the scientific name. So basically it's a state of sleep. It's the main part of where you sleep basically. So it's where your dreams are, so it's your deep sleep. So your dream state in the middle part of any night's sleep, and it happens every single night, just you don't remember it, you don't recall it at all. I'd previously watched Inception, and in fact I've watched a documentary on it, and I found it really, really interesting. And we came in and we were kind of struggling for ideas, so I thought, why not sort of pitch it? So then I thought I need to research it and see what it's about. So we all looked at murders that had actually happened in real life, people who claim they were doing it in their sleep. So we sort of all researched together to find if it could work as a trailer or as a movie. Because we actually don't know what happens during that state of sleep, it's easy for us to make a trailer out of it, because no one can tell us we're really wrong, because it's our way of breaking conventions, because no one has conventions on it. It happens to every individual. It's what you remember. It's your sleep, your dream. So we could sort of twist it completely our way and make it something that is real, but you can't really argue whether it's fake. Well, I'm trying to what I'm trying to say.
It's sort of the idea that with REM it is the unknown. Scientists can theorise, but no one actually knows. So it gives us a lot more freedom to play with the idea as to what you are capable of in your sleep.
Basically, we were asked to do a scenario, but we decided it was just best to give everyone has their own individual skills. So it was just, like, for example, Ria has obviously background on sound and editing. He's used to that kind of softer material. Matthew's, you know, he has a lot of, one of his hobbies is obviously collecting films and that, so he knows a lot about a lot of stuff. And everyone else just has their own input, so everyone was just given their own individual role. It worked quite smoothly because everyone was comfortable with what they were doing. And obviously when there was parts, you can just input on everyone else's role. So everyone had an input on everyone's role, although it was their responsibility and their own individual role. So for that worked perfectly as a group and individually.
Well, yeah, our influences.
We already kind of covered that, but okay.
I'm not going to go too deeply into this, because I'll go on to it later in the presentation, but my influences, obviously being head of editing and also sound design, I have my own influences on both musicians and also directors, and my own way of what I actually believe this film actually was going to look like in the end. Matthew, your ideas on how you believed your character was to develop?
I figured with iconography, actually that's not the point we're on.
What?
Keep going.
Oh yeah, it's later on, okay.
Sorry.
Guys, sorry. How much longer have you got in total?
Well, we can just go through slide by slide now and just cover each slide.
Faster, right?
Yeah.
Great.
So everyone's...
This is the brief film synopsis we wrote down. This is importantly because it's the film synopsis. This is the whole film, so what you'd see if you came to the cinema. Like we say, we stopped looking at this after we wrote it, because then it was a trailer. If we thought about that, we'd end up making a film. Yeah. Now, trailer synopsis. We were just gonna slasher film. Basically, this line here is pretty much sums up our whole trailer. We're gonna show you a slasher flick. We're gonna make you think it's a slasher flick, and we're gonna hint at a psychological twist. That was the entire plan from the very beginning.
Really, do you want to cover that?
Yeah, in the beginning we had... Pardon?
Okay.
Okay. In the beginning we actually did plan on trying to spread the workload over the whole group. When it came to actually doing the storyboards, it was something where it was actually a group effort. We couldn't go off and do our own little things to aid the actual final portfolio itself. So we actually all sat down and actually started to envision what we believed the film was going to look like. And yeah, we storyboarded the introduction to the film, and once we had done this, we actually had such a we all had a really clear understanding of what
Yeah, on what
the
whole thing
idea
would look like.
and the actual the stylistic element of what the actual film was going to look like when it was actually going to be completed.
This was sort of the script writing moment. Basically, the idea was we wanted to, in a trailer you don't get long for, it's 2 to 4 minutes, so you don't get much time for words, and plus you don't want a too wordy trailer, especially with a horror film, because that's not what you go there to watch with any genre. So, like I say, if you can only use 10 words, they have to be 10 powerful, engaging, interesting words. So when we set about writing a script, it was news reporters, it was conventional news reporter speech. That went along with the mise en scène, which we'll go on to later. And it was just about making it sound and look exactly like a news report, so we wanted it to look real. Then the main characters, we decided we needed a good speech from the main character, which was me. Because it goes on the basis of if you don't care, you don't scare. We want the audience to feel a connection to me, or Matthew, so they'd feel something. They'd think, oh no, I don't want him to die, or they might even think, oh no, I want him to die, or they'd be really interested in the character, because the character's quite important, I think, to horror films. Matthew's magic moment. Self-aware directors, like I was saying about Wes Craven, he makes films for horror fans, and so does Eli Roth, so they'll do things in their films, slight small things that horror fans would pick up on and you'd realise. So we tried to do some of that. Some of it came about by accident. So Vicky Timothy Allen is the name of one of our victims. Vic Tim. And genuinely, we didn't realise we had done that until we, I think it was until after we filmed it.
It's because we put together different names from different people that we actually knew, but didn't actually in turn, like for example, Vicky is one of our friends' girlfriends, Timothy is my tennis coach's name, and Alan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then once we realised we did that, we thought, we've got something good here, we can carry on. This is, like I say, self-aware directed. So it went on to Jennifer Chase. There's quite a good thing about that, I'm quite proud of this one. So it's either Jennifer Chase as in running away, because that happens in a lot of horror films, or chased, as in the whole argument of pure versus horse. So this girl is pure, she is good, she is chaste, she's awesome, but she gets killed. That went on to the something out of a low-budget horror film in one of the reports. It's just a little cheeky thing because you know you're watching a low-budget horror film. Also, we go on to this a bit more. There is, in one of the scenes, there is actually red rum, which is our name, but it's also iconography for The Shining, written on my hand during a scene in the trailer. It's only quick, and you'll notice it now that I've told you, but like I say, we're just hinting at things, little tiny hints and stuff, just to play with the idea of self-aware directing. Eric.
Okay, yeah. We decided that we needed to really plan and just get down the nitty-gritty of filming and get in as much footage as we can. So we decided that we're gonna get most of the this is it, yeah. Yeah, we're gonna get most of the dates within the holiday that was coming up. This decided to slightly go downhill as people making their own plans. It wasn't really becoming in order, so that times were rushed. And as the deadline came, it was more of a rushed process instead of how we planned it. So even though that helped us get the job done quicker, it might have kind of downfall on the quality and what we could have produced.
But also to make up for all the time, the fact that we were so well planned and well prepared for the actual filming before we actually went and did the filming, like we used, for just a little thing, we used prop boxes to keep for different scenes and different times when we actually would just literally pick up the box, take it to our scene, and we'd have all the props in there for each specific scene during our trailer.
So ultimately it did go a little bit wrong, it wasn't how we planned it, that was fairly clear to all of us, but we did pull together, thanks to our planning, because it was easy to move.
For the news reports, like just little ideas from being the editor. Each part of our film has got little influences from other films that we've also seen, because nothing is original. So just like at the beginning, just with the news report, in Romeo and Juliet, the news report at the beginning is what I was influenced by have these news reports.
Baz Luhrmann.
Pardon me?
Director. The new Romeo and Juliet.
And later on in the trailer, when we're in one of the conference scenes, you'll see it when you see the trailer, but there's a TV effect on one of the on two or three of the shots, I can't remember, but with Mr. Grey, and that was also taken from Romeo and Juliet, just that editing element of as if you were watching it on a analog TV.
Sweet.
Yeah, we did intend to use Final Cut Pro, but in the end we ended up using Power Director. Also, being influenced on the software for when we did our Paranormal Activity, it was much easier. We could get the whole thing down much quicker on the timeline, plan it out, and also use more effective effects on the actual final thing itself rather than on Final Cut. Final Cut's very professional and very good for high quality, massive films, but I opted to use Power Director in the end.
Previous experience and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's you again, Ria.
Oh yeah, this is just quickly touching on what I spoke about earlier of this, when we did the storyboards. After we did the storyboards, at this point we literally, I remember being able to just imagine the whole trailer, what the whole trailer was going to look like, before we actually did the filming for it. Before we actually did start editing, so I was able just to literally go and sit there and imagine where each of the shots were to be placed. This was, I did this during the rough cut, which is literally what I did, placed everything down. Matthew, montage, Joe, Eric?
Are you going to go into your idea of what
Yeah, I will.
Well,
The idea of a montage I think in trailers, and especially from the product research we did, it's quite important to a trailer because you can do as much talking as you want. You've got to show some stuff, and it works really well in montage because you can get lots and lots of things done in this one chunk. So they're really conventional. We wanted to use the montage to throw you off, keep you on track. This is where we were going to introduce the psychological element, the hint in the idea of that. So the hunter or the hunted. Is Matthew the killer, or is he being hunted like you think? So that's
It's friends being killed.
And this was done through drastic angles and awkward camera movement. So we wanted to make it almost uneasy to watch, fairly hard to watch. We do go on to talk more about what influence does, which we had.
Yeah, obviously I've said, I was influenced. We wanted to keep everything in the film relative to something that is already out there at some point during the film. Like we can say each point, there could be something you can relate back to a film that is already on the market. Like there's one part where I go on to talk about, I'm influenced by, it's slightly off topic, but there's a music video by Green Day, American Idiot. The beginning 10 seconds of it, there's